I'm sure this will be fine. I'm sure we're not going to be attacked or anything. Greetings, your graces. Death to the heretics. Hey, it's Wassarian. Take that scum. Look who it is. It's all his fault. Oh, Lord. Abelard reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startlingly human gesture, and a telling one. A rare moment where he allows his age and weariness to show through his armor-like veneer of self-assurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. The people dare to disrespect a senior officer? They would not have had the chance to express such disrespect if we were not here, and if the situation had been dealt with by the relevant officers. It is a junior officer's worst failing to pass problems up the chain of command. I have never been able to abide it. I shall say it again. It was a mistake to come here on Lieutenant Vent's whim, Lord Captain. I must admit that the lieutenant is by no means the worst material for an officer, he adds peevishly. But in the name of terror, the girl is the same age as my eldest great-granddaughter. She has the gall to tell me how to manage the lower decks and hunt down the cultists. It will be another 20 years at least before she can be trusted to act without oversight. Yeah. So that's where we are. Welcome to my lower deck, where I'm sure everything is fine and we won't accidentally die. Or anything. Greetings, your graces! Yeah, lower deck rabble!
Follow my lead.
Girl, lower deck rabble, they don't know what to do. The Lord Captain's here. Oh my god, we have friends. I'm so happy about that.
I still do not see our purpose in coming here.
Relax, old man. Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you. Lets you see how the simple folk live.
No, Adira, you did not just do that to Abelard. You're my hero. Okay, I think that's that. Okay, so they're actually talking, and this is where we need to be. So I was just kind of curious, and what would, like, who would be over here? Like, if she was gonna just show up randomly or what? The sounds of heated discussion reverberate through the ship's bays. Lieutenant Vilra Vent of the ship's enforcers is barring the path of her superior, Master-at-Arms Yocosta Sarbak, who has arrived clad in armor. Judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached a boiling point. Lieutenant Vent, my patience is wearing thin. I have given you an order. Now get out of my way. I cannot comply with that order, ma'am. Vent looks shaken, but there is fire in her eyes. This is my deck and my sector. So long as this area remains under the Lord Captain's special oversight, no action can be taken without my express permission. There are only 3 people who are authorized to make me stand down. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears, Abelard mutters in a crabby approval. He does not clarify whether he means Vent, Sarbak looming over her, or both. Your ladyship. Noticing you, the 2 officers snap to attention and salute. Their subordinates follow suit a moment later. We encountered some locals on the way here. Their conduct was outrageous. They even tried to throw things at us. I want to speak to the strikers. Give the assault open fire. We will crush the seeds of insurrection. Yeah, we encountered locals. Vent's gaze is full of worry and regret. The people are getting desperate, clearly. They saw the assault unit and decided they had nothing left to lose. I mean, I apologize, Lord Captain. It is outrageous. I'm sure the people simply didn't recognize you. It wouldn't have occurred otherwise. We will deal with them once the current situation is resolved. Is that all you have to say? Are you sure you're worthy of an officer's rank, Lieutenant? For a split second, Vent freezes in fear, but she pulls herself together, straight and clips out, "Forgive me, Lord Captain. I will take steps to ensure such a thing does not happen again." That's the important thing, right? Like, it is one thing to come on my bridge, or Tess's bridge, I should say. Tess's bridge. Think that you can storm up and do all what she did, and then have Tess come down here, but then to try to make excuses for something like this when you're in an officer's position. You don't have the luxury of necessarily talking back to the most powerful person on the ship. Like, it definitely comes off that Vent has next to no like survival skills in that regard. Like, what? I wish to speak to the strikers. Abelard's mouth twists, but he restrains himself and says nothing. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. let's go, everyone. Let's go. Let's go indeed. I am here to talk to them. Greetings, your grace. Wow, nobles from the upper deck down here. I love this. Wait, what is the best angle? I feel like we did this angle the last time. Was this the best angle? You all are not here to tell me yay or nay. So I feel like we're gonna go with this. A dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. A whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reaction. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you've come down to see us. Tell me what's troubling you? I feel like Tess is like, what's troubling you, my child? And it's like, these people are all much older than her. Striking? That's news to us, your ladyship, says a tall, thin man in worker's garb. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet, snaps the old woman, who turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here's the deal, your ladyship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to 2 whole bays for a week at a time, so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. The old woman spits on the floor and rubs the spittle with the toe of her worn-out shoe. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Ben's the only enforcer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidships and has no fellow feelings towards us. The grim man with the scarred face throws up his arms. Your ladyship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet. We were attacked on the way here. How do you explain that? I gotta reach my coffee. Sorry, I was, comfy without my coffee in hand. God, Emperor, help me. I can't believe I did that. Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limit, and now they're lashing out, as if we don't know why these top deck units are being sent down here. Like that one there that the lieutenant won't let past. Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who have had just about enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. A death squad has just arrived. It's no wonder folk are lashing out. Their words seem sincere to you. Their body language and glances traded between them revealed that the news of the attack has shocked them. Yeah, I was told that you had a cultist amulet around here. Want to talk about that? A cultist amulet? What's that? The Guga they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. How could there be heretics here? We know our people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not, and if there were, we'd be the first to report them. And as for the amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folk looted the bodies, the boots they came back with. Nobody's ever treaded these decks in boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots were real fine. There was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. I'll worship the Emperor, and when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers, the servo motor, and the same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your ladyship, we're people of faith. Naive children. Weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the Arch-Enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was a long time ago. The last we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I had my 3rd little one. That is regrettable. But you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors? Abelard, anything you want to add? I authorize the use of necessary measures to locate chaos worshippers hiding in the sector. The specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. He frowns, clearly disgruntled and having to explain himself in the workers' presence. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are the enemy and threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. Sarbak, was it really necessary to torture the people with the cold? The rabble understand only one language, Lord Captain, that of violence. As per regulation, should the laborers persist in their unwillingness to cooperate, the next step is limiting air supply and cutting off water, which is almost certain to restore order. Peasants can grumble all they want, but in the end, they are the source of their own misery. All they have to do is bow their heads and fall in line, and the need for punitive measures will disappear. I love that it's Sarbak here. Like, 100%. This makes it so much better. So what changes? Would you look at that? The exalted Lord Captain herself is asking the rats what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers. Quit turning up the heat and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here. We want to be armed. Give us arms and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if those cultists do show their face. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things. You've gone too far, old man. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist the enforcers on the upper decks too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day's out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultists' bodies and we'll talk to them, one lower decker to another. If there are more of those damned amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers. Speak for yourself and your clan. I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures. I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns her back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out. The tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth, as if planning to agree. Each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. Embracing. Putting weapons in the untrained hands could be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight with... No. Abelard, the story about going scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. And these people were moments away from rebelling and possibly becoming minions of the archenemy. We must not give them what they want, even if they did acquire something innocently, purely out of their own stupidity. That does not mean that they are not tainted with corruption. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I have seen it before. His face darkens momentarily. In my second war, there was a sergeant in the Imperial Guard regiment that was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic, and his whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found not a single survivor, only the pocket knife, which had grown through all the rows of the beds like metal choking vine. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontents, strikers, or whatever they'll turn into next, my verdict is simple. Give them no quarter. Master at Arms? Give the rabble a grox, and they'll take an agri world, Lord Captain. They only understand brute force and will interpret any concession as a sign of weakness. Giving them weapons and recalling the enforcers would be folly. It would only be a matter of time before we had a full-scale mutiny on our hands. What's more, enforcers are needed. I'm gonna... Let's try the coercion. The tall workers, they call rivet, shrugs, and cast aside. I'll look at the old woman. Old man, listen. Listen! The Lord Captain herself has come down to us and is offering concessions. I don't know a single person in the whole of Depot 4 who's ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down. Now's not the time for you to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old man. 3 clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made up our minds. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. The old woman hisses in dissatisfaction. You two are ganging up on me. Is that it? So brave you are against an old woman, but I'll shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against 2 clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's great, fantastic. Lord Captain, we're agreed. So it's decided. The persecution will stop. I will expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cultists. I kind of see like Noble Tess like clapping her hands like in that like noble like kind of gesture, and then like twirling around happily and like sauntering away. That, just so you know, that's what I see in my head for this line. Your ladyship, thank you. You have not abandoned us lower deckers. You came yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren. Of course, your ladyship will root out any nasty business faster than the enforces and will leave no stone unturned. Lord Cap, this is complete bedlam. Are you satisfied? Yes. I think so.
A new challenge for me.
I think I'm satisfied. Abelard, I'm trying to like move us with one hand so I can keep my coffee cup in the other. It's a little precarious right now, but here we are. Let's go here. So that way we can see them. Let's spy on them as we have this moment. Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your other companion, saying, I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. Abelard looks at... No, I love these animations. Looks at you, and his last vestige of restraint vanishes. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtowed to the disloyal rabble. You believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them in with open arms and allow them to wreak havoc, whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see the future at the helm of the Von Valencia's Protectorate? Let's talk. I allowed this revolt to happen. No. Why are you so angry? I solved it. But why did you have to be the one to do it? Did you consider what it might cost you? I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene. Remember, Lord Captain, Theodora, do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower deck? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to her grand designs of the Protectorate. As for the true strategist, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Maybe if Theodora had spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There's a new Lord Captain aboard the ship now, and I will not repeat her mistake. I would be only too willing to trust my seneschal and not fill my head. No. Give me a reason why I should continue listening to your advice. No, I still like this one. I think we go with this one every time, but I still really like it. He looks at you stunned and exhales loudly. Then he nods curtly. I commend your decisiveness. But I am uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of a crisis. And... he stands at attention, straight at attention. I lost my temper, Lord Captain. I believe I ought to explain myself. Abelard speaks slowly. Oh, wait, but the one thing I forgot to point out, remember Lord Captain Theodora, so like, the way he said Lord Captain Theodora there, she's dead. She is not the Lord Captain of this vessel. And like, you can see here why this conversation is so important. This conversation is literally what ends up separating you from Auntie if you want it to, or it doesn't have to. You can let him keep blurring those lines, but I don't know if any iteration of Tess will ever let somebody confuse her with Auntie. The prosperity of the Von Valencia's Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most monumentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known. I had come from a long line of officers. I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She'd go off on her flagship for long periods to distant frontiers and scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly, everything that had been built over the years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you. to find your footing as quickly as possible, and to do that, I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. Every single time I mention this, but he's not grieving or panicking because he can't allow himself to. And that in and itself is probably like one of the most important things to remember about Abelard. If he ever seems like he is hustling you, if things need to happen now, if he almost seems like he's borderlining on panicked or something like that, then you know something is wrong, because this is Abelard. He does not panic. He does not grieve. He keeps his, like, he's military through and through. He's very good at what he does. He's very good at regulating his emotions in the moment. He's very good in a crisis. You saw him throughout the whole prologue. You see what he's capable of. So if at any point Abelard's like, we gotta go, I would trust him and just go. Theodora trusted in established procedures and she died. I won't make the same mistake. If you want to keep building the future of the Von Valencia's protectorate with me, stop living in the past. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in the new world, a world where Theodora is gone and you and I have decisions to make. Prosperity is just as important to me. You're the only person who is comprehensive. I think the future I will follow. I value Theodora, what Theodora created, and I trust that this situation is, I see no reason to change. But very little I still like this one. You and I have new decisions to make. I don't think Tess can exist in a world where she doesn't lean on Abelard a little bit, if not a lot. I mean, Theodora did. Every other rogue trader depends on their seneschal, leans on them heavily. That's why they're there. But they've got to build this new world together. Abelard solemnly inclines his head. Yes, Lord Captain. After a moment's silence, he adds, looking at you with interest. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. Now, please let us leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader desires... Hold on. English eluded me. And now, please let us leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader desires to stretch her legs, there are far more suitable places. So we did it.
Follow my lead.
Man, I love that. It's such a good quest. It's so important too. Okay. Now, can I go to Ricad Minoris? I don't know. Girl, we've been trying to go to Ricad Minoris for like the last hour? I guess we'll do joint analysis next. Tech use or logic? We'll go with this one. Oh, we'll do the leveling quickly. Oh no. Weapon skill. Doing my part. What is this one? I don't actually like... Nah, we will be... Well, yeah. So no heresy. Oh, yeah, let's do that. Nope. This, thank you. Let's do joint analysis. Oh, wait, no. Foreboding? No, I'm gonna go here. And we'll do tech use to kind of balance for a second. Agility. Better to die for the Emperor. While under 40% wound, characters gain 10% bonus to all. Doing my part. Actually, because I don't think I have anybody else that's going to be doing what she does at any point. Weapon skill or agility. Let's give you weapon skill this time. Blade Dancer's parry. Yeah. Okay. Now, Lord Captain, can we please, I beg of you, get to Ricad Minoris? Hold on. We'll see. Wait. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I think we made it to the planet. I think we actually made it. Yeah, Cabela. I'm so excited for Cabela. I'm so excited to see what her lines are here, if there are any. And then we're gonna have Pascal. All right. The starport greets you with the din of ordnance and the smell of explosives tickle your nostrils. It's difficult to tell through the smoke who is firing at whom. Halt! Weapons on the ground, or I am firing! A man in a torn and dirty uniform hobbles towards you from behind the chunks of rockcrete and crumpled plasteel. His cracked helmet is adorned with a crooked label that reads Sergeant Malgar. Alright, so our skies are in lockdown, the rebels are shooting down anything that flies, and you lot happen to land in our rear without a scratch to show for it. And on a shuttle like that, where'd you get it? Stolen from the palace, isn't it? He's visibly awed by the resplendent gold of your transport. Grab 'em, lads, we've got ourselves a rebel landing force. Abelard turns purple. By the holy throne, what is this mess? Adira glances around. They're in a tough spot, old man. Go easy on them. You must be Mr. Abelard. Enlighten this rabble about the proper manner of greeting the God Emperor's chosen. Abelard clears his throat. You stand before rogue trader von Valencius, you ignorant worm. Snap to attention this instant and give her ladyship a formal report. No, it only gets better with time. Every Abelard announcement just gets better. With a mixture of awe and terror, he snaps to attention and raises his freshly cut chin like an exemplary soldier and barks, My mistake, ma'am. At once, the starport is under control of the governor's warden's perimeter. Commander is Sergeant... Frag grenade explosion cuts off the rest of the sergeant's words. Shrapnel flies everywhere, piercing screech. One of the soldiers falls to the ground, clutching the remains of his forearm that now adorn with crimson tatters. Blood is pouring out of the stump, and the soldier's agony is short-lived. The sergeant curses and hastily says an army prayer for the dead. With a rasping cough, he turns back to you. Pardon me, ma'am. Sergeant Lass Malgar reporting. My unit's holding up the starport on the governor's orders. How many I serve? What's going on? Unrest, ma'am. Armed rebellion in both the capital and the provinces. First, the lower level sparked, then it went up in the spires. They hit the Vox hubs, arsenals, mag train stations. My unit was here when it all went to Groxus. The tech priest linked to the satellites reported sightings of strange void ships in the system. They were orbiting the star until one of them set course for landing on Ricad Majoris. The governor took precautionary measure and ordered to increase security at the key facilities. Everyone knows that whenever something's not right, you better double the warden detail. The alarm was raised and we were sent to secure the starport. It's the only reason we're able to hold it. They're crushing us. You were late. The scumbags. It's been a whole turn since the last reinforcements came in. We're running low on ammo. Every other fighter is wounded. I don't know how bad it is in the streets, but they'll drive us out of here any minute. What is the cause? Ill thoughts, ma'am. We've fallen on hard times. The ground keeps shaking. Things keep exploding. People are scared. They've forgotten all about their duty. And that's when those, Emperor, forgive me, preachers came. They started riling everyone up. Sure enough, we shot a few, but they just keep coming. More and more of them. Pat him on the shoulder. You're doing fine work. And so are your troops. It's people like you who hold the Imperium together. Oh, no. Oh, no. We're gonna pat him on the shoulder. What happens if we do that? I kind of want her to do this. I live to serve. Yeah, I like that better. I think that fits. I don't see noble Tess willingly touching him on the shoulder. Like, you know what I mean? I don't see her willingly touching most people in general. That's beneath her. She's noble, you know? The sergeant is astonished that he only barks out the mandated words of gratitude after a non-mandated lengthy pause. We won't fail, we won't forget. We'll be praying to the Emperor for you, your ladyship. Do you know if a member of the Inquisition has stopped by? At the word Inquisition, the sergeant's face fills with awe. I don't know, ma'am. There definitely haven't been any visitors like that on my watch. Might have to inquire at headquarters. I'm gonna go see the governor. If I may report, as long as the rebels keep shooting their damned anti-aircraft battery, there's absolutely no way to shuttle you to the governor. I would be on foot. I have no one to send with you as an escort. I assigned all available troops to accompany the esteemed tech priest to the governor. I'll vox cast them to wait for you, and I'll inform headquarters. They better send a convoy to meet you halfway. Meanwhile, we'll follow the governor's orders and hold the line. Adira frowns as her gaze grows distant, as if she's looking through the sergeant. You're a good soldier, but you've got a lot of blood on your hands, both yours and others. You know, the same hand that salutes now might falter in the darkness. Rank and epaulets won't save you from the bitterness. Pardon me, my lady, but I can't get my head around these fancy words you're saying. I've seen plenty of blood, but trust me, I'll fight till my last drop. He shakes his head in disappointment. If only Sergeant Davian Terdium was here. He may have completely lost his marbles, but I'd let him accompany you. Could have walked all the way to the governor's palace without any harm. Who is that? One of ours, a veteran. No idea how he wound up here. The man's from Atoma Prime, the other end of the galaxy. Silent chap, crazy eyes. But you should see him slay enemies of humanity. There's none like him. He cast a glance somewhere past the starport. When it started, he went missing out in the streets somewhere. Worse news for the rebels, though. He's an absolute beast in close-quarter combat. You're a fool. The governor, who is safe, has left you for dead. A good fighter would have long since reclaimed the starport. Move out and attack. You cowardly name. What tech priest? Very important person from the Adeptus Mechanicus arrived on the last shuttle before they locked down the sky. Kept on asking whether anyone by the name of Amernat or Amernat, something like that, had recently arrived. Barely answered any of our questions, though. Said he was under no obligation to tell us anything. Demanded to talk to the governor. I had to send a quarter of my troops to keep him from, to keep trouble at bay. All right. You're a good soldier, Malgar. We'll see that your heroism is noted. He blushes. I live to serve. Another explosion booms. All right, Tess. Let's go, girl. Let's loot the body.
Did you see that?
See
they
what?
almost knocked us out.
I know.
Some bumbling idiot's going to regret that when he's dragged before the Lord Captain for questioning and trial.
I do not think the rogue trader should take a personal interest in a common crackpot. Summary execution will be sufficient.
We're all in agreement. Whoever tried to shoot down our shuttle should just die.
I will heed your cries of mercy.
Oh no. Why was that so funny? Okay, we'll move you there. Argenta here. Actually, Tess, sweetie, can you come here? I think this will be safer for you. Abelard here. Cabela here. Adira here. Is that everybody? Let's roll, boys!